my brave, naturally level 9 daughter went to a level 6. In this tutorial, I take you step by back-aching, color-stopping step I took to achieve this beautiful brunette color. If you'd like to see how I did it, just stay tuned. My daughter has extremely thick hair, and I'm going to break this down into zones for you. Zone 1 is going to be her virgin new growth, which is approximately 3 inches. From the 3-inch mark to about 6 inches is going to be zone 2, which she had a perm, an acidic perm, so nothing strong. And then zone 3 is going to be from the approximately 6 inches through to the ends, which has also been highlighted with 20 volume and obviously permed over also. So there's zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3, and that is how I'm going to choose my formulas when I color her hair. First, I will be cleansing with the cleansing cream by REDKEN. I want to remove any buildup. She doesn't have a lot in there, but we want to have like a nice blank canvas. And I scrubbed it around for a good few minutes. After I rinsed, I did not add conditioner or anything. I just went ahead and towel dried her very, very well and then applied the filler. I added Olaplex to the filler to do a treatment per se while the filler is on her hair because her hair is porous from having the chemical services done prior, and I want to make sure those bonds are reconnected and there's some place for the color to attach, and the moisture and protein I'm going to add back into her hair later on needs somewhere to live also. The filler I used, you see in there, is a 9AA and 7G in the shades Gloss. Filling is extremely important when tinting back. Some people add it to their formulas, but I feel like if you're doing it all over, just take these extra steps for precaution. You want to fill no more than 2 levels at a time, and you need to replace the missing pigment. And then there's her new growth, which she's blonde anyway, so she doesn't have a lot of the pigment that browns need either. So we're actually going to be filling her natural virgin hair. First, I'm just going to even out the canvas, hopefully, and add these tones back in there. I'm adding yellow and orange back into the hair, which is the underlying pigment to a level 8. Now when I get to my next level, which will be now level 6, is when I will add more yellow and orange, but also add my red. This will process for a full 20 minutes because I want all the pigment possible to penetrate into the hair. After sitting up for 20 minutes, I rinse with lukewarm water, nothing too warm, and this is the tone that we got. You see why I did a level 8. She's still pretty light, and there's still highlights you can see through there, but I have packed the pigment into the hair. Even if you can't see it very well, it is there, and it will help with the next steps. Now, this next formula, which I'm going to call step 2, formula A, you'll see why, but you'll see that I'm using 10 volume peroxide instead of the basic processing solution to go with the shades Gloss. And this is only because this is going at her new growth. And even though this isn't the final color, I will be using creams on the last step, but this is the second part of the filler. I want to make sure that I'm taking it now down a couple levels darker, so I want to penetrate the hair a little bit more than the processing solution would, but with the shades Gloss because I want that more iridescent color and because I want it to be more even. And by using the 10 volume, I'm hoping to open that cuticle a little bit more to get in there a little bit further. This is formula A, which is the 5NW and the 6N, and then formula B will be something different, and I will get to that when we get there. But I'm going through and taking it section by section, making sure that the hair is penetrated very thoroughly because it is her new growth, and I'm going to let this sit. You need 2 different formulas, sometimes even 3 different formulas, but with her, since this is just the next step, it's not the last step, I'm just basically evening out her porosity, making sure the color is the same throughout. Really porous, obviously, with her regrowth, right? So I want it to be a warmer color, but on the ends I will add more warmth to the formula, because it will suck up a lot of the color and it will end up being the same color throughout by doing this. Now for formula B of step 2, the formula I mix for that is a 1/2 ounce of 5NW, a 1/2 ounce of 6NB, and just a splash of 6N to kind of balance it out. Now the NB has a mauve undertone or a red undertone, and that is how I'm adding the red. Now I did not want a lot of red. I could have did a CR or just an R, but we don't want this to be too warm. She wants a warm brown, but if we add too much red to the formula, then it's going to, we don't want that much of an impact. So we want to add the red to our main formula because of that. So if we do red on top of red, then the red's going to come through a lot. So I just want to even out this canvas and add some of those tones back in, or all the missing pigments back in there. That way I can go on to the next formula, which is the final formula, and just do the formula that I want. So if I want a warm brown, I'll just put a warm brown color on there. Now this is what it looks like after processing for a full 20 minutes before I rinse. It got pretty dark, but looks can be deceiving. And I know when I take this off, it's not going to be as dark as we want. It looks like it is, but that's why we take the steps to ensure that we get to where we want. Think of it as painting a wall. If you have a white wall and you just put one coat of brown on top of it without a primer or anything like that, you're going to have to do a couple coats, right, to make sure that that you get the coverage that you need. And this is why we're going through all these steps. I assure you it is worth it. Now, step 3, Formula A, is the Logix by Matrix, which is their demi line. They have the permanent line in Logix too, but this is their demi. So Formula A is 4N and 6N with 10 volume, and I just applied that to zone 1. Now I know I said I wanted her to be a level 6, which she will be and ends up being, but I did a 5 at her new growth, her virgin hair, because I'm noticing her hair is stubborn. And by taking all these steps, I could tell that, so I knew what my final color needed to be. So by doing a level 5 at her root, I will still use a level 6 through her to her ends, and it will even out to be the same color. And I figured even if it did grab a little bit darker at her new growth, that's fine, because it's, her new growth, as long as her ends are not darker than her roots. Now for Formula B in step 3, here's the formula minus the 6N. Replace that 6N with a 6G. I did 5NW, 6NB, 6G, all equal parts. I did not want to add an end. I didn't need to. Her ends were neutral enough. I could tell she needed a little bit more warmth in there, so that is why I added that. Again, there's neutral in the tones that I use anyways. And the 6NB has, again, the red undertone, so there's adding more red there without it being too red. I applied this and I let this color sit for a full 20 minutes. And actually I let the creams, the Logix, they do need to process for 30 minutes, so it did sit for 10 minutes before I applied the shades and the ends, which only need to sit for 20. Now as this has been processing for a few minutes, I do notice the ends have taken the color quite well, and I'm debating on rinsing it off early. I see that it's getting as dark as I need, and I don't want it to be on there any longer than what I have it on there for, so I let it sit for a few more minutes and I go ahead and rinse the very, very ends. However, the mid shaft stays intact because that is fine. As you can see, it turned out pretty darn good. She was extremely happy with it, which I was so thankful for, because it made me really nervous that she made such a drastic change. But she seemed really confident in her decision, and I let her wait a couple days, and she wanted to do it, so we did it. Even though now she has short hair and her blonde is back, and I should have did a video on doing that, but I did not, because we did it here at home. But the reason why she did go back blonde is because her friends at school are telling her that she looked pale and emo with dark hair. And now that she's been back blonde, they're now telling her that they loved her hair, how it was when it was brunette. Again, I hope this helped you all out, and if you would like to see more, don't forget to push that subscribe button. Please stop back again. Bye.